Okay, in the last session, we have talked about objects. We have seen few things about objects, right? JavaScript objects. And when you say JavaScript object, what do you mean by exactly that? That we have seen how to create object and other things also we have seen, right? So when you say object, it is nothing but, just a minute, let's prepare the notes first. JavaScript object. So when you talk about the object, it is a combination of keys and values. It is the combination of keys and values. So when you say objects in the JavaScript, objects are, in JavaScript, objects are the fundamental data structures that allow you to store and organize the data in the flexible, versatile way. Objects, you see my screen, right? Yeah. Objects can be thought as a collection of the key value pairs. Collection of what? Key value pairs. Objects can be thought of as a collection of key value pairs where each key is a unique string or symbol. Just remove this or symbol. Presently you don't know what is a symbol. A unique string that acts as an identifier for a value associated with it. These values can be various types. We have seen that these values can be of various types. Value can be boolean, value can be string, right? String functions like that. Now, how do you create the object? Here we can say object creation. So we have seen there are two ways to create the object.
Object literal notation.
Correct. Object literal notation and the new keyword.
Constructor.
Yeah. So this should be H1. Object creation. So you can create the object using two main methods. First, object literal notation, and the constructor, and second one, constructor function or the classes, right? If you want to see the code, we already have written the code. A person. So in this way we will create the object, and I said that a second way we will talk about later on, right? Const dt is equals to new date. We'll talk about this later on. Then we have seen accessing the object properties. Accessing what? Object properties. How do you access the properties of the object? One way we have seen, you can access the properties by means of dot operator. You can access the properties by means of dot operator like this. Can you see? obj1 dot say hello to, like this, or obj1 dot first name. obj1 dot first name. Another way of accessing, console.log obj1 in the rectangular bracket name of the key. This is also one way. This is the first way, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
This is the first way. This is the second way. Both are correct. obj1 and the rectangular bracket. and what? Rectangular bracket and name of the key. Key should be this, or any other available key. Right?
Yes.
Now, what we need to do? I need to modify the first name. So here I can say obj1 dot first name. It should be like this, and here we can say doe, and here we can say console.log. Here we will print before modification, and console.log after modification. Correct? Before modification, we can say before modification, and this one after modification. Okay, I think I have not created new folder. Let's create a new folder, a day 28, and into that new file, object basics, object basics 02 dot js, object basics 02 dot js. Let's have object const person. This would be the object. Into that first name, last name, age would be the properties. First name, last name, age. Correct? Now I want to modify. So here we can say console dot log before modification. Here we can say dollar person dot age. Let's modify the age. Person dot age is equal to, present is 30. Let's make 40. And this is a after modification. After modification, person dot age. So cd day 28 and node object basics 02. Can you see before modification 30, after modification 40. Well, this can be rewritten by means of the rectangular bracket also. So here we can say person age 50, and same thing I will copy paste after modification, and let's run it. So 3 times you will see before modification 30, after modification 40, after modification 50. Correct? So this is what modifying the object. Now what I want to do, I want to add a new property over here, is employed. I want to add a new property. So here we can say before console.log, before adding a new prop, here you can say person dot, can you see here straight away you can write the property person dot city is equals to ABC, and here console.log person. This is a before. Now after adding new prop, after adding new prop, and person.log, sorry, console.log person. Can you see this is a before adding new prop? John, first name John, last name Doe, age 50. Can you see first name, last name, age, city? Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
So this is how you will add new properties, right? This is how you will add new property. Well, there are nested methods, sorry, nested objects. Now what you can do, const, let's modify, or you can say const address. Here you can say street ABC and city ABC. City ABC, right? So I want to add it to the person. So before adding, or here we can say similarly you will add. So before nested, after nested, before nested, before nesting, you can say console.log person. After nesting, nesting means what? Object inside object. Object inside object. So here we can say person dot address is equals to address. Person dot address is equals to address. Okay. Look at the output. Person dot address. Okay. ABC should be in a string format. That was the error. If you see the error earlier, how it was?
This is not defined.
See now. It was like this. Just a variable. If you don't write something, can you see ABC is not defined? Because this needs to be wrapped in a quotes if this is a string, right? Otherwise, ABC would be considered as a variable. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And that's why JS has given error. Just clear the console. In the Microsoft, you will type CLS for clearing the console. Yeah, can you see this? Before nesting, object is straight. First name, last name, age and city. Correct? After nesting, can you see one more? This is the object. So one key has been added, address. Right? One key has been added, address. And value of that key is another object itself.
Yes.
Object inside object. Object inside object. That is nothing but what your
Nested.
nesting of the object is. Similarly, we have seen function also. There can be a function. Right? Now, if you see, the city key is available inside this nested object also. So this city we don't require. So next concern is that how do you access this street? Can you tell me how do you access this street?
This dot street.
Console.log person.address.street. Remember that. Person.address. Because inside person there is a address key. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this whole is a person object, right? Inside person there is an address key. Address itself is an object. So how do you access the keys inside object? Dot operator. This is the person dot address. Again this is object dot what? Street.
Yes.
Accessing. This is how you will access a nested object key. So here I can say accessing nested object key. Accessing what? Nested object key in this way. So if you run it, can you see accessing nested object key? This thing. Now, if you look at the console, the city key I want to delete because city is already inside address object, right? So technically city should be part of the address. Yes or no? Technically city should be part of the address. So this is not required. How to delete that? So here you can say, delete is a keyword. Delete person dot city. So here we can say before deleting key, let's print the person, and after deleting print the person. Clear it? Yeah, can you see here, before deleting city is available, right? After deleting there is no city. After deleting there is no city. City has been deleted. Correct? So let's write it about all these things. Accessing the object properties. You can access the object properties. By this and this. You can say code. You can paste it. Right? This is how we will access. Then modifying object properties. Modifying object properties. You can modify object properties like this. Then nested objects, right? Nested object can contain another object properties. Object can contain another object properties. Deleting the object key. Deleting object keys. You can delete the properties key value pairs. You can delete the property key value pair from the object using delete operator. Here is how. Delete city. Delete person dot city. Correct?
Yes.
Now, few more things about the object. I will go to the another file. Object basics. 03.js. So I will come back to this concept little bit later on also.
Yes.
So this is the person object we have. Address. This person object we have. Format the document. Remember that. Make sure that you will format the document. Right click and format. Can you see one object? This is one object. Start curly brace to end curly brace. Start curly brace to end curly brace. Which contains another object. Right? Nested object. Now I want to print all the keys I want to access all the keys. So in the JavaScript const keys, there is a one built-in class. Now what do you mean by class? Presently you don't know. And that class, can you see, object is a built-in class, and you can pass a parameter to this class, a person. So it will give you all the keys, array of all the keys, console.log keys. Now I will run the project. Here you can say node object basics 03.js. Can you see all the keys, just keys? See here, first name is key, yes or no? Last name is a key, age is a key, and address is a key, right? So object, so that's why I said what is an object? It is a class, and keys is one of the method of that object. Similarly, console.log, what is a console and what is a log? We will learn this thing. We will learn this thing at the time of classes and objects. This is a built-in class provided to you by the JavaScript to perform such operations. What operations? Finding all the keys of the object. So I have an object reference. This is a person, and I want to find out the keys of that particular object. So object.keys person. Similarly, we can say const values object.values. Can you see object.values and person? You will get all the values. So presently you got keys. Now you will got what? Values. Values. So clear it. Can you see values? First name John, last name Doe, age 30. Can you see here you are getting all the keys, and here you are getting all the values. So this whole is object. Value for what? Address key. Value of address key is whole object. Value of age 30. Value of last name Doe. Value of first name John. Understand or not?
Yes.
Understanding or not?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Now if you see this, these two methods are, there are more methods. If you see object dot, can you see there is a values, there is a entries, there is a assign, there is a define properties, few methods and few other methods are there. So presently you don't know what do you mean by the class, right? So I'm not touching these methods, but just to show you, there is a built-in class. There is a built-in class. That class gives you a facility to operate on the object data. That can be keys, that can be values. Correct? So there is a built-in class called as object that facilitates you to dissect the object and check what is inside object. You can check all the keys of the object. You can check all the values. Other operations are also there. Presently, I am not telling you all those things, but other operations are also available over there. And those operations will help you. Those operations will help you in working with the objects differently. So here we can say h1 and helper class object helper class, or we can say utility class. Utility class. Just a minute. right? Object helper class. The object class in the JavaScript is having the useful methods. See here, object class in the JavaScript provides a useful methods like keys and values. There are others also, keys, values, etc. I can see, etc. For handling object data, object keys retrieves the array of the property keys and object values retrieves the array of the property values from an object, right? So two methods we have seen. Object keys, you can provide any object, right? And object values, it provides values of any object. Returns, here we can say, returns an array of the object, returns an array of the object properties, property names, useful for iterating through. Iterating means looping, useful for iterating through, and object keys for checking the existence of the specific properties. Then returns an array, here you can say, returns an array of the object property values, useful for extracting all the values, useful for extracting all the values associated with the object properties, right? Utility class, this we have seen. Yes or no?
Yes.
Object. So in the JavaScript, you can deal with the object, or you will perform these many operations with the object. You will perform these operations with the object. So these are some basic operations I am covering. There are a lot of other things also that we will see. Okay, so about the ES6 now. About ES6, Object Basics 04.js. Okay, now see, here I have const, or here I have a is equal, or here I have name, or age is equals to 10, right? And const, a separate variables I have, age is equals to name, is student is equals to true. Okay, these are the two properties. Now we need to create an object from this. We can say const stu1 is equals to, what you can do, age colon age, and each student colon each student colon each student. So what will happen now? So this is the object. So here we can say console.log object.keys. Let us see how many keys are there for this stu1 object, right? Hello?
Yes.
Are you understanding this or not?
Yes.
Clear? Node object basics 04, name is wrong, I think. Generally I keep the convention of hyphen, not this hyphen. Dot yes. Can you see, for the stu1 there are two keys, age and what?
Each student.
Each student. Can you see? So we created a object stu1 whose key is what? Age. This is the age. Each student, right? Similarly, let's try to print the values also. Values. Can you see 10 and true? So age value is what? 10. Each student is what? True. So these are normal variables, right? Any question over here? Any concern? Not understanding something? You can ask me.
The age, colon age.
Age colon age. First is what? Key. So how do you write? Age colon 10. Actually, you'll write something like this. 10. And each student what? True. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But I don't want to give this static kind of data. Right? So what I have done? Const stu2 is equals to, so I want age from this variable. So whatever value of this variable, that should be the age. So how do I write? Age colon age.
Yes.
So instead of writing 10 statically over here, instead of writing this 10 statically over here, I can refer it to this variable. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Each student, here we can say, and I will refer it to what? This is student. But if you see, the key name and the variable name is same. So let's try to print it again, all these things. stu2 and stu2. stu2 and what? stu2. Clear it. And 4. Can you see? Same. It is printing for first, for this is second. Even we can write one console.log stu1 data, and here we can write stu2 data. So it will clarify the concern. stu1 data, stu2 data. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So these are the keys. These are the keys and these are the values. Do you agree with this or not?
Yes, sir.
So I want to create the object from these variable values. I want to create the object. So what we are learning, I want to create the object from these variable values. Another case. Now see. So I have an object. So I will create a new file. I'm going to come back to this file once again. So new file and object basics.
05.
So let's make adv 05.js and 4 also. It's not a basic, little bit advanced. adv advance 04. Okay, I will come back to this file once again. Now I have one object const stu. Inside this object there is a age 10 and each student true. Now what I want to do, I want to separate this object into two separate variables. So here what we are trying to do, we want to create one object out of these two variables. Means here we are combining. Here we are what? Combining to one object. Here case is reverse. So here I can say const age is equals to stu dot age, right? Const each student is equals to stu dot each student. So here I want to separate out object. I want to separate the object into two variables. So here I want to encapsulate two variables to one object. Here combine and open. So here I want to combine these two variables to one object. Here I want to open this object into two separate variables. Do you understand what we are trying to do? So this is how you will do it, right? So this is the one object can be opened to this age variable can be opened to this each student variable. As usual, let's first print the object console.log stu. Then here we can print the separated data console.log ages $age. Okay, and here student each student, here you can say each student. Here combining to one object, and here separating to one object. But ES6 says that you are doing a lot of work over here actually. So for combining, you are writing something like this. Actually, here you are doing age, each student, each student, right? Each student, each student. So you are writing this 2 times over here. You are writing this 2 times over here. ES6 says that, boss, if this is the scenario, you don't need to write if. Remember that rule. What is the rule over here? If the variable name and the key are same, if the key name and the variable name is same. I am repeating again, just a minute. Yeah, if the variable name, what is the variable name? Age. And the object key name is same. Remember the rule. If the variable name and object key name is same, you don't need to write it 2 times. Just write age 1 time. You don't need to write value. ES6. Who says this thing? ES6 says that if variable name that you want to assign to the key and the key name itself is same, you don't need to write 2 times like this. At the time of combining, again I am repeating, at the time of combining is the if variable name and the key name of the object is same, you don't need to write it 2 times like this, age, each student, each student. That is absolutely not necessary. Meaning is same. This line and this line is one and same. Let's try to do this thing again. Over here, stu3 data. Here I can add stu3 and here I can add stu3. Just revise it in your mind, whatever I have said. You can revise it, you can explain it to me, what I have said. Hello?
Yes, sir. At the time of combining, in ES6, the variable name and object key name is same. Then you don't need to write in 2 times.
Yeah, you don't need to write what? This 2 times. If variable name and key name, see now, whenever we will learn React or we will learn advanced things in the JS, you will many times find this scenario. You will many times find this scenario. So at that time, don't get confused. Remember that meaning of this and meaning of this is one and same. Let's run the project and see what happens. Node 03. Let's run the project, and can you see same thing, first name, last name, age, address. So whatever output you are getting, okay, this is 04 actually, just a minute. 04, what happened to the 04? Okay, this is a ADV, not basics, this is a ADV. Yeah, STU1 data, can you see same? So this is the traditional, this is the static data you have assigned to the STU1. This you have assigned from the object, right? This you have assigned from this object. And the same thing, whatever you have done over here, same thing you have done in the ES6. At the time of combining variables inside one object, in another words, at the time of wrapping these variables inside one object, if key names are same, right? Key names are same as variable names. Key names are same as variable names. You don't need to write it 2 times like this. Correct? This is nothing but what? The feature of the ES6. Okay, now how it works over here? Student and like this. So this is a normal way of extracting or unwrapping the object. So this is the wrapping these two variables inside this object. Similarly, unwrapping this object to these two variables. Correct? At that time we will do. But what ES6 says that, for this I need to comment out this thing. I just comment this out. And what ES6 says that, again, if the keys, I will deleting these two things. If the key names, same principle. If the key names and variable names, so how you will do it over here? Age and each student. Can you see key name is also age? Key name is also each student. And key name, variable name and key name here same. Variable name and key name are same over here. So same thing it says that at the time of unwrapping the object, if you keep same variable names and each student, simply you can add STU. Now meaning of these lines, meaning of these two lines and meaning of this one line is same, but syntax is different. ES6 who have suggested this thing, instead of writing these things, ES6 says that, boss, instead of writing these things, why don't you just add curly brace over here and assign the STU. So I will unwrap the properties of the STU into the two variables, age and each student. The way you have created age and each student over here, in the same fashion you have created over here itself. But you have said that unwrap it from the STU object. Unwrap it from where? STU object. And what STU object is having? Two keys, age and each student. See, remember that these things work only if at the time of wrapping and unwrapping, only if object keys and variable names are same. I'm repeating again, this will work only and only if object keys and variable names are same. If different, it will not work. Undefined. If it is a different, it will not work. Getting my point? So this is a new syntax, nothing else. Rest is same. Correct? Any questions? Let me push this much code and you can say object advanced concepts. Just go through it in a minute or in a 2 minutes and let me know. I have pushed the code. Check the repository.
Yes.
Any question?
Sir, at the time of combining, variable name and key name same.
Should be same.
Then
Yeah.
yes. Then write variable name only.
Then write variable name only or key name. See.
Yes.
Because it is the same. So you can call this as a key or variable, whatever.
And that unwrapping, when the key name and variable name same, then the write only object name.
Correct. So here stu. So here you are assigning. Just write this stu over here. Automatically it will unwrap object details to the variables. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, sorry. Here we can say object adv 06 .js. Object adv06.js. Const, I can say stu is equals to age colon 10 and is what student false. Age is 10, is student is what? False. Now, what we need to do? We need to copy this to, let's make stu1 over here. stu2 is equals to, what you will do? Age colon stu1 dot age. Copy. Can you see?
Yes.
Is student stu1 dot each student. Copying. Right? From one object, we are creating another object. From one object, you are copying another object.
But the value is same.
Yeah, values would be same. So let's print it. Let's print this. So here we can say, let's copy this from somewhere. Age is stu1 data. So here we can say console.log stu1 data. Correct?
Yes.
Here we need to have stu1.age, stu2.age, and here stu2 data, stu2.age, stu2.student.
There is stu1 dot is student.
Where? Oh, stu1 dot each student. So here let's run it. Npm, not npm, node object adv 06.js. Can you see stu1 data, age is 10, each student false. stu2 data, age is 10, each student what? False. Now, this is okay if you have 2 or 3 keys. This is okay if you have 2 or 3 keys to copy like this. But what if you have 100 keys inside one object? Are you going to write 100 ones? stu1.age, stu1.each student, then each physics student. Similarly, this object is having 100 keys. Are you going to do this 100 times? No. Correct? For that, one more method comes to help you. One more utility method comes to help you. Object.assign. Can you see that? Assign. So this is the target object, and which you want to copy? stu1 you want to copy. stu1 you want to copy, and here you will get stu3 copied object. Here you will get what? stu3 a copied object. Correct? Now print stu3 data. print here stu3 data, stu3 dot, stu3 dot. Object dot what? Assign. Assign this stu to this empty object. What you are saying? Assign all the properties of this stu2 to this empty object and give me, and after doing this thing, return newly copied object, right? And return what? Newly copied object. So this is the empty object. This one needs to be copied. Second parameter needs to be copied. Second parameter needs to be copied to what? First parameter. Second parameter needs to be copied to the first parameter. Second parameter needs to be copied to the first parameter. And newly created object would be assigned to the stu3. Let us see the output. ADV6. Can you see again same? stu1 data, stu2 data, stu3 data. Data is same everywhere, correct? Which means that copy is happening. Now ES6 comes and says that, boss, forget everything. See now, console.log, sorry, const stu4 is equals to, this is a new object. You need to copy which object? Write that object name, stu1, right? And attach 3 dots before it. 1, 2, 3. Attach how many dots?
3 dots.
So write object, start curly brace, end curly brace. Which object to copy? stu1 to copy. Before stu1 write 3 dots. 1, 2, 3. And these 3 dots are called as spread operator. Which operator?
Spread operator.
Spread means open or unwrap. So here this object would be unwrapped, correct? And I will write it stu4 data, age is stu4.age, stu4.age student. What this thing is called as? Spread operator. Same thing. So basic, I have shown a static copy, stu1.age, stu1.student. Same thing we have done by means of a traditional method, Object.assign. Target object and the source object. Second parameter data would be copied into the first parameter, and the copied object would be returned from the assign method and allocated to stu3. Similarly, stu4 like this. So this thing is called as spread operator. So copying the object by means of 3 different ways. First one, a traditional approach, but this approach fails at what time? Sorry, this approach fails at what time? If you have 50 keys, lots of keys are there. You're not going to write 50 times same statement again and again. Well, in that case, if you are not using ES6, you are using older JavaScript, one method comes into the picture, one built-in method comes into the picture, Object.assign. Object is a built-in class. I told you we'll talk about this class little bit later on, right? We'll talk about this class little bit later on. Object.assign. Then if you are using ES6, nothing is required, no separate method, nothing, just name of the object. So first write empty object, like this, then write object to be copied, st1 to be copied, and attach 3 dots. The meaning of the 3 dots is spread. Spread is kind of unwrap stu1 means all the object keys would be copied and pasted as it is inside these 2 curly braces. That is what the spread operator is. And this is how object copy will work. let me push this method, object copy, object copy, correct? So I have covered a lot of new concepts in the today's session. Revise it, type it, and ask me the questions on the Monday. Okay? You can ask me questions on the Monday session. Monday I will give you homework.
Yes.
Fine? I think you are pending with last 2 recordings also. You need to type code for last 2 sessions as well, right? Yeah, just do that, and then we will have a Monday session with, today is Friday, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's call it for a day. We'll meet on the Monday. Thank you.